Get myself all ready.
No, rolling.
This-
You've got that kind of dishevelled, just come out of work look.
Listen to
Do
this.
you know what you look like? You look like one of those dudes who stand in Covent Garden with the tie that kind of is up like that and they pretend
Yes,
to
exactly. I need a suitcase.
Yeah.
And hair.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
Just
I
get
need
a
hair.
wig.
Yeah.
I need hair.
I'll lend you a wig.
Thanks for that. Plenty of follicles going around at the moment.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, hair.
So who are we?
We're the Popcorn Pundits, and this is...
The Popcorn Pundit's pundit.
Yeah, and what are you supposed to do when you start the show?
I was about to do it, but then you started on some weird tangent, so I'll just go.
What's in the truth there? Haven't you been listening for the last 80 weeks? Popcorn Pundits.
I didn't know where you were going. I was just letting you go with it. I thought maybe this is the new way we do it after 80 weeks.
It's your Popcorn Pundit. It's week 80. We're a trio of cinema lovers encouraging you to go to the cinema and enjoy the silver screen, indulge in it. Just be there.
Do you think we should change the name of the podcast now?
To what?
It's all subjective.
Oh, it's tempting. It's tempting, but I'm not going to do it.
Let's not, shall we? Hi.
Hello,
Yes.
James Michael Mocrone.
Thank you very much, Peter, James Unger, and Nikki Thatcher Smart.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. The format of this podcast is very simple. We do the top 10 of the UK charts. We highlight and review a couple of films we've seen at the cinema, and Nikki gives her sequel of what happened this time last year,
So I was
and
like,
then we say goodbye.
yes,
Simple as that.
that's it.
It's a very simple process.
And shockingly, we normally get it under an hour.
Yes,
Yes.
sometimes.
That's why I said normally.
Right.
Shall we begin?
Peter, UK charts, please.
Okay, so this is the charts according to the BFI in the UK and Ireland up until the 6th of April 2025. Number 10 is Warfare. I haven't been to see that yet.
It's a great film.
Yeah, I really want to see it at
Really
the cinema.
tense.
as
You've got to
well.
watch it at the cinema.
Yeah,
The
I want
noise.
big screen, I want Dolby 7.1, I want the works.
You want IMAX, baby.
I don't know, yeah, maybe.
No.
Number 9, Hit: The Third Case.
This is an Indian language action thriller.
Is it now?
Yeah.
Number
That's
8, Retro. I know nothing about that.
It sounds like, I think this is going to be one of the things that I'm going to say. It's not a movie. I reckon this is a rave film. A documentary about raves.
Oh, it could be. It's by DJ Tech Limited, I don't know.
Exactly. Nikki, you've got any facts for us?
It's a 2025 another Indian Tamil language romantic action film.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
Number 7,
Hmm.
Bluey at the Cinema, Let's Play Chef Collection.
Yeah.
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
A Bluey is an Australian children's TV
I
program
think it was a 1970s porn movie.
You're gonna watch a Bluey?
about, I think he's an Australian shepherd maybe. So it's Bluey and his family and they all go on adventures.
Do they?
And it's obviously now at the cinema as well.
Well,
Wow.
this is the worst.
Why were porn movies called blue movies?
I don't know, is this a joke?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's just a question.
I mean,
Anyway.
You're asking the
do you actually
producer?
want me to Google that?
Well,
that's going
you
to
could-
change it. Number 6, The Penguin Lessons, which just isn't on anywhere. It's
Haven't
impossible-
seen it anywhere.
It's impossible to go and see, and yeah, it's at number 6. So well done, you.
Yes, well done, you.
Number 5, Until Dawn. You saw that?
I did indeed. Saw it last week.
Yeah.
It was refreshing. It was different. It hit the spot, and I think it was a nice little filler in between good, decent horror movies.
Number 4, The Accountant 2.
Yeah, yet again a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Much better than the first one. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I
Yeah.
laughed. I didn't cry, but I laughed.
Number 3, a Minecraft movie.
I laughed a lot.
Yeah, you
Really
did,
enjoyed
right?
it.
You laughed a lot more than I did.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it's one of those movies that are going to be a nice Sunday afternoon movie. I think.
Number 2,
Love a chicken.
Chicken Jockey. Number 2, Sinners.
Yes. Brilliant, that is. Absolutely brilliant. Fantastic. I think it's going to be a classic horror movie, I think that is.
Yeah, I just wish there was more of it.
Mm.
Yeah, I wish.
I know you
I'm
did.
looking forward to Sinners 2. Number 1.
Thunderbolts.
Why do you make me do all the hard work and then you steal the Thunderbolts at the end, eh? Do you think that's acceptable?
Yeah.
You know the story about
What?
The
Princess
chicken that
and
makes
Pea?
the chicken that makes the bread.
No.
You don't know that
Well,
story?
I don't know the chicken that makes the bread.
Well, because you were rude, I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
Number 1 is Thunderbolts,
Yes,
which
I
is
didn't know
it's
that.
missing something.
yes, it is.
It's missing an asterisk.
No, it's not.
No, it's missing a star.
No,
What's it called?
that's just not the way you say asterisk. It's an asterisk.
Oh. Is that something to do with chicken and bread?
No, it's a Dutch
It's the way about
Viking
it's the
book.
way about spinning a clipboard.
Is it Dutch?
That's what it is.
Are the asterisks Dutch?
Yeah, asterisk and
Or are they
obelix.
Belgian?
Belgian. That's right.
Massive rock.
Yeah, Thunderbolts, which
Yes.
is the film that you and I went to see separately.
Independently?
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
Did you go to the same cinema that I usually go to?
yeah, I went to see. I saw it Scream 1 in Maidenhead, and I
Did
went
you?
in the mid-afternoon on a Monday,
Did you?
Tuesday, Monday, Sunday. I went on a Sunday,
Right, okay.
Sunday afternoon.
Bank holiday. Very difficult to
Yeah.
figure out what day of the week it is to be
You
quite
had a
honest.
Craig David moment.
Oh yeah, I was trying to work out
Yes.
when to go and see it, and I looked on Sunday, and there was I think 10 showings of this
Wow.
film, and I went at I think 2:30 on a Sunday afternoon, and it was packed,
Yeah.
busy.
I went Friday night. It was absolutely packed as well.
Not a seat in the house.
Not a seat in the house.
Yeah, okay,
Very
there we
good.
go.
Very good. Good to see the cinema film. Cool.
Yeah.
Really
And
was.
then, and I didn't know. Oh, we've never had this before, have
We
we?
haven't, have we?
Oh.
How bizarre! It's taken 8 weeks.
Should we pause?
Well, that's even weirder.
But it just stopped.
Who does one ring?
Ooh.
Crazy.
I've done 5.
Maybe it's the new Pope.
It's. Oh yeah, because we know who it is now.
Yeah.
Well, we possibly could, because as of recording, the
Yeah.
conclave has officially started.
It has.
Yeah.
So maybe they've announced new Pope already.
And all the telephones in the world ring, just like at the end of Lawnmower Man.
Oh yeah.
Remember that? Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, I do.
Mm.
Good film, that.
That was a very good film. Really bad graphics, though. Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
I mean, that's great for people listening. for you to
Well, they
check
should be
out.
watching.
They should be watching. They should be looking at us.
They haven't seen me doing the trying to get the thumbs up on
I
the
know,
screen thing with the
exactly.
thumbs down. It's
Yeah.
just annoying.
You haven't done the firework boobs yet either.
Not yet. The night is young. Should we talk about this fucking film, please?
The term blue movie
Yes.
emerged to refer to films with explicit or adult content,
That's right.
particularly pornography.
Because
Yes.
it turns the air blue.
The colour blue has been used in various contexts to describe things that are considered vulgar, lewd, or defiant, deviant, either same.
I'll pay for both.
While the extract origins are debated, it's believed the association with blue might have started as a way to describe something that was watered down or less appealing, like a blue tinted red,
Right.
or that could be used to describe blue shirts worn by manual workers in the 19th century,
Blue collar.
which would hide the dirt better than white shirts.
Right.
None of that makes any
No,
sense.
it makes no connection to pornography, does it?
Shame.
Yeah,
wouldn't
exactly.
know.
I'll do some research tonight.
Please do. Yes. Tell you what, FaceTime me when you're doing it.
And review it next week, yeah?
Tell you what, film it.
Do it.
And we'll post it on next week's podcast.
Do it live on the
I think that's-
Instagram Live.
Exactly.
Dear God.
Exactly.
Right, come on then, let's talk about Thunder. Thunder.
No, we're gonna.
Thunderbolts.
No.
Oh, no, we're not.
Nikki's in charge, and she's decided we're going to do something else first.
Sorry, I totally forgot this was on.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Nikki,
Yes.
what would you like us to do?
You went and saw an amazing, classic, wonderful 10 out of 10 film
Yes.
at the weekend, didn't you?
I went to see a Monty Python movie.
Okay.
Yes, on Sunday afternoon. I went to see The Holy Grail.
Beautiful.
I have to say, I mean, for those of you who've never seen the classic Monty Python and the Holy Grail, watch the film. It's as simple as that. Because what I can say is, tell you what's really relevant watching a movie of that level of humour, but also that lack of budget, and also how old it was again. It wasn't redesigned. It wasn't brought up to date with any sort of modern technology. It wasn't sharper. The picture wasn't sharper. The sound wasn't sharper. They didn't play around with it in the slightest. In fact, in some cases, it was so grainy and blurry. In some cases, you really made you realise what sort of films that we used to put up with, because obviously the quality was so bad. Saying that, laugh out loud funny. I mean, so still hit the spot in every. I mean, there were quite a few people that obviously never seen the film before in the audience, and it was so lovely. And what was really lovely was there was quite a few mixed couples there. Where not when I say mixed couples, we won't go into detail. What I'm saying is, I think people were bringing their children to watch the movie.
Okay.
You see.
We're not talking about the mixed couples.
Not the
You
blue
mean
movie
mixed-
again.
You mean mixed generation.
Mixed generation, yes, exactly.
Were you allowed to smoke on the left-hand side of the cinema?
You were indeed, and then a lady came out with a card
tray
going,
of ice
cigarettes, ice cream.
Yeah, nice.
It's exactly what happened, and there was an intermission. In fact, there was an intermission. There was a
And we used to get like a little free movie.
We did a bit of Flash Gordon,
Not
black and
necessarily.
white. I used to look
Sometimes
forward
it
to
was like a National Geographic type thing.
What's it?
Yeah, you go
What
in.
sort of cinemas are you going to?
Oh, Gerald's Cross, darling.
Of course, Leamington Spa, Flash Gordon. That's where you get in love.
Gordon's alive.
Yes, Gordon's alive. Yes, but I have to say, it's very, very funny. A lot longer than I thought it was going to be. It's almost a 2-hour movie.
Okay.
Yeah, which I think is quite unusual in that sort of time as well. But the humour was so spot on, and what was fantastic was you keep forgetting that there's only a small group of them. Like there's 5 or 6 of them at max, and they play almost every single character, and so that means they've had to think about every single camera angle. So when they're talking to themselves, as playing 2 different characters, you forget completely that there's lots of extras that are used in the back of their heads and so on and so forth. And it's seamless. It's absolutely a joy to watch.
Why are we watching it now? Is it an anniversary?
No idea. It was at the cinema, and I thought I've got to watch it at the cinema.
I think it was. I think it came out in 1975. So what would that make it? 50 years?
That's right.
Or 60?
50. Cheeky monkey. How very dare she?
I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, very funny though. But yeah, the graininess was a little bit off-putting ever so often. But I'm not there to
You're going to
judge.
put a bit of graininess for that.
I'm not there to
genius,
judge.
aren't you?
I'm not there to judge. But yeah, if you get an opportunity to go and see a classic, Life of Brian or Holy Grail, go and watch them at the cinema because what is lovely is everybody's chuckling all the way through the movie. And so yes.
Fantabulous.
Are you giving it a score?
Well, you can't not give it less than a 9. It's got to be a 9.1. Any Monty Python film is going to be 9.1 apart from Life of Brian is in a similar category, but I wouldn't put what's the other one?
The Holy Grail.
The Life of Brian and
Meaning of Life.
Meaning of Life. I put the Meaning of Life slightly lower than 9, I would say. Nikki, have you got any facts for us?
So it is currently available to watch on ITVX, YouTube, Google, Apple TV and Amazon Prime.
Yes.
And Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd and Genesis all contributed to the movie's budget.
Did they?
Funds earned by Pink Floyd's album The Dark Side of the Moon went towards funding the movie. The band were such fans of the show that they would halt recording sessions just to watch Monty Python's Flying Circus.
Of course.
And the famous depiction of the galloping horses by using coconut shells, which is a traditional radio show sound effect, came about from purely practical reasons that the production simply could not afford real horses.
And
Brilliant, isn't it?
And they just made a gag all the way through the whole 2 hours.
Yeah. Comedy classic. Love it.
And I went to see Spamalot, the stage show, and you can get all merchandise.
Yes.
So I have my own coconuts.
Who doesn't?
I know, it's amazing.
I mean, you've got your own coconuts, have you?
Firework coconuts.
And God
Yes.
is a photograph of the famous 19th century English cricketer W.C. Grace.
Is it?
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
And you last fact. You said about them all playing different characters.
Yes.
Sir Michael Palin played the most characters.
Did he now?
Do you know how many he
7.
played?
I would say he played 14.
James is closest. He played 12.
He's just seen it, fucking hell.
Yeah. I didn't count them. That's one he's done. That's another one he's done. Yeah.
Imagine trying to count them all in one go. And it currently
12.
has 8.2 on IMDb.
Well, they're wrong.
But it is at 92% on Rotten Tomatoes.
No, they're right.
They're right.
They're right.
They're right.
They're right.
Fuck subjectivity.
Yes, exactly.
James and Rotten Tomatoes is right.
You know it. I love it, Rotten Tomatoes.
Why?
Because they're right.
Because they've got the right idea. They've just got the right idea. Simple as that.
Right, should we crack on with our
Let's crack
main
on.
event?
Yes, indeedy. What are we doing, Peter?
We're talking about Thunderbolts.
Oh! It took me 5 minutes to explain what you were doing with that text to
did
Nikki.
it?
Yes.
Sorry.
Would you like to explain, Nikki?
Well, it was Thundercats, but what's that got to do with Thunderbolts?
Well, because it sounds familiar.
Yeah, but it's nothing like Thundercats. Thundercats is
Sounds
10 out
the
of
word
10.
thunder.
It's actually very similar to Thundercats.
It is.
Yeah.
There's cats in it and everything.
Yeah, with the makeup.
Yeah.
And then the musical, and then they start dancing like cats in the musical.
That's exactly what they did.
We never
Right, let's do it. Thunderbolts.
Let's go and talk. Yeah, so.
It's got a little star above the S.
Okay, so we had a little chat about this before the thing. So now I don't know where you're going with this and what you're actually going to say.
So we're not going to give anything away, but on the way down to said cinema, I was having a discussion with my cinema groupies, and we were discussing about what the star meant above the asterisk above the S, and we were going, what does it possibly mean? You see,
Yeah.
and we had a long discussion about what we thought it meant.
Were
And
you walking through Maidenhead with your coat?
I was.
Yeah, nice
when I came to the road, when I came to the edge of the road, I went, no. Good stop there, sir. That sort of thing. That's exactly what I did. Anyway, and we did not guess what the asterisk meant, which was nice because when something came up, we were pleasantly surprised. That's what I've got to say.
Oh, but yeah, but you see, this is general knowledge, so I don't really see why we can't talk about it.
Let's leave it. Until next week. Let's leave our powder dry. I think. I think that's fair.
All right.
I think that's fair.
Okay.
Week 81.
Okay. So,
Yes.
were you excited to go and see this film?
Right. I initially, when the advert first came out and they gave the cast lineup and they gave the character lineup, I looked at it and thought, oh, it's another Marvel movie. They're flogging this dead horse. Why are they doing this for? It's never been the same since Endgame. What's going on? Type thing.
And it's kind of felt like they're trying to stick or trying new genres and new kind of
Different approaches.
new cinematography and
That's
like
right.
the kind of So a lot of the trailers that we've seen, I must admit, I found the trailer quite witty. I must admit, I like the bulletproofish comment in the trailer and everything, and Florence Pugh's Russian accent I thought was quite hot, and so I kind of went into this quite optimistic actually because I thought it was going to be different from what we've seen. Because the last thing that we saw, which was the new Captain America,
Yes, it was terrible.
it was shockingly
Absolutely
shit.
shocking. But they do mention.
They do.
They do. But I'll come to that in a moment because there is something I want to highlight
Let's
during
crack
that
on.
moment.
Yes, go on.
So what we're doing is we're reintroducing ourselves to the Marvel universe, but in a much darker, gloomier fashion. Okay, all the Marvel movies so far until recently have been bright. They've been upbeat. You know, think Guardians of the Galaxy. You're thinking all those bright colours. You're thinking all of the sort of all of the humour's light, the optimism is light, and that was the basic difference between Marvel and DC, where DC was traditionally a lot darker and Marvel was traditionally a lot lighter and brighter, so to speak. Now, recently, what's been happening is one of the last decent DC movies, which was Suicide Squad, which obviously had direct reference to what we're about to, was a lot brighter. It was a lot lighter, and it was directed by James Gunn, which has obviously been famous for doing the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Yeah. And it was a carbon copy, really, of the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. And they brought in some new characters, and I think they did a half decent job recreating the Suicide Squad all over again because the first one was so terrible.
Yes.
Okay. So this, to me, because of the costumes are a lot dowdier, and even the opening credits. In fact, the opening credits themselves are incredibly dark. And I watched this in screen one, massive screen, beautiful surround sound, and the light is usually piercing in that room, but it was very subdued. It was very, very dark, and the whole movie felt dark, which obviously comes to the main protagonist having that sort of there's a dark element going through that as well, which obviously seeped in to the whole movie, really. And I think they did this on purpose to draw a line, go, this was the old Marvel, this is the new Marvel, and obviously that's obviously the interesting sort of aspect about the asterisks as well. So I was kind of drawn into it slowly into this movie. And what you have here is you've got the classic sort of collection of anti-heroes, whereas Florence Pugh's character at the very, very beginning of this movie, there's this amazing little monologue about how she feels about her life, and obviously in the movie before that, her sister was Scarlett Johansson, and she obviously dies in Endgame, and there's that sort of backstory to that as well. And what I didn't realise was, what I only found this after watching the movie, Florence Pugh's done a Tom Cruise.
Pardon, say that again?
Florence Pugh's done a Tom Cruise. What she's done is, the building, and this won't give anything because this is like the first 30 seconds of the film, the building, and that's actually in the advert as well, the building that she's standing on is the second tallest building on the planet.
Yep.
Okay. She actually jumps off that.
Yes.
There's no CGI, there's no green screen. She jumps off it and then she parachutes about 3/4 of the way down. And she does an amazing fall with the arms coming out.
And even the step off the top is really cool.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine doing that? She must have done it several times as well.
Well, the reason why she was wearing a waterproof suit, wasn't there? Was,
Yes. Elasticated around the bottom of her legs. You move it, yeah, exactly. So, and what I liked was they didn't over-egg it about, she's done this. I only found this afterwards as well. So you've got this classic story of anti-heroes being drawn together because there's a new queen in town in charge of the Marvel characters, so to speak. And what you realise is
Valentina Allegra de Fontaine.
De Fontaine. Not Fontaine.
That's it.
De Fontaine.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And she's quite an interesting character because she's immediately unlikable. She's immediately
smarmy.
Yes.
And she looks like she's
mistrustful
immediately.
She
looks like she's on the Trump administration.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So So she's obviously cleaning house because she's obviously done a lot of bad things in the past by coming up with special scientific experiments about how to create new soldiers.
Basically, the Avengers are dead.
Yes.
She's trying to manipulate humans to be a new Avenger.
That's correct.
So she's doing tests on humans.
That's right.
To try and find out how to make a new Avenger.
However, it's very obvious at the very beginning of the movie that she's been caught out and she needs to clean house.
Correct.
And that's the reason why she's got all of those characters all together and she gives them all one mission: kill each other.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And of course they don't. Otherwise it would have been a very, very short film.
Yeah. But they start trying to, and basically this is where we get introduced to all the new characters. So
yes,
the original Captain America, who's like a bit of a broken man.
That's right.
And married with a kid, and he's got a really shit
John Walker.
Yeah, a shit old school outfit, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
And then Florence Pugh plays Yelena Belova, who's kind of like a Russian assassin, isn't she?
Right.
And she does talk about her mental health, and
yes.
and she's going around basically saying, "Oh, I've done this 1,000 times.
Yes.
He's going to shoot me. I'm going to dodge it. This is going to happen. That's going to happen."
And there's a lovely boring monologue while she's killing loads of people in this fantastic sort of fight.
She's just so over it, and
yes.
it's just like so. It's a really sensational scene in the movie, but she
describes.
It's just she just makes it so
great juxtaposition. Works really well.
Really good. Then also we got Bucky Barnes back.
You've got Winter Soldiers back again, who you would think, who starts the movie off as the star of the show because obviously he's the one that turns up in this glory, and the rest of the characters are in awe of him because obviously he's all whistles and bells, but. All in all, I mean, we'll go into more details in a moment, but all in all, I think this is a very, very strong movie for a female role. And I think Florence Pugh's, grasp on this team and actually pushing this movie all the way through, I think she did a fantastic job without it making it too obvious that it's a female role for the sake of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I I've said the last few films that we've seen her in, I think this woman can do no wrong whatsoever, and she whatever she's in, you just believe her character 100%. Because in the trailer, her Russian accent's quite hammy, isn't it? And but you just get absolutely engrossed in her character. What I liked about the Bucky Barnes character is that he starts off basically as a really shit government official, doesn't he?
That's right, yeah, exactly.
And he's obviously trying to kind of step away from that kind of
superhero
type character. And the majority of the Thunderbolts, not cats.
Yes.
Bolts, not cats.
Yeah.
They don't have any superpowers. Yeah, these are just apart from one who's he's got a bit of a zigzag thing going on. The rest of them are basically bog standard. And we get to meet Florence Pugh's dad in it.
He's absolutely amazing, isn't he? But I think he was in the previous Scarlet Witch movie.
Oh, okay, I didn't.
Which
see
I didn't see,
I didn't
and
see it.
because he's obviously Scarlett Johansson's dad as well, because they're sisters as well,
Yeah.
and he is the eternal sort of light relief all the way through this movie, and he comes out with some fantastic sayings, which are obviously misreadings of English language to his language, which obviously being Russian, but in that sort of very sort of overly optimistic. And dad jokes all the way through it.
And also the fact that he really hates one of the original sponsors of Florence Pugh's was it football team, soccer team or whatever.
Exactly, the Thunderbolts.
And they'll be in the middle of like a really dramatic fight scene and go, no, not the Johnson's wheel, and you're just like, let it go, mate. Seriously, that's brilliant. I think it's really fun.
There's some lovely little Easter eggs in this as well. So at one point he's highlighted as Red Santa.
Yeah.
Okay, and obviously he's one of my favourite horror Christmas movies, which is Violent Night, and he plays Father Christmas. And he's incredibly violent and kills lots of people. And then there's another beautiful point in it where they're talking about the administration of the presidency, and they're talking about the Red Hulk.
Yeah.
And they talk about the president being a bad person. Okay. And at that exact moment, they've all got glum faces. Who's the only person who's smiling in that scene?
Oh, I don't know. Don't remember.
The only person is Sebastian Stan, and he's got a wry grin on his face. Because obviously he plays Donald Trump in the last movie.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful, and I spotted it straight away, and I thought that is so clever. They've obviously put it in just for him because apparently he was filming The Apprentice while he was filming Thunderbolts.
That's right. Yeah.
So there was that lovely sort of crossover with it as well, which worked really, really well. Now the character Ghost, she's from Ant-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I think her character was really underused quite dramatically in this film, unfortunately, because I thought that had quite an interesting sort of concept, and she's an English character.
Yeah.
Which I
didn't think that at all. I thought she was a great character in this, and I thought she was. Yeah, I thought I had just about enough of her.
And then Taskmaster, I didn't know this until afterwards. Taskmaster is one of the characters who doesn't have a long span in this movie, which won't give anything away. But in the comic books, the character's male, and in this film, it's female.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't realise it either. So I just. The concept of them all getting together and trying to kill each other off, and then realising that their common enemy is actually their ex-boss, and then they're getting together and go, right, we've all been put together for the wrong reason, let's go and attack our ex-boss. And during that process they come across Bob.
Yes.
You see. Now Bob's obviously standing there, no superhero costume, no funfair.
A damp squib.
He's a bit of a damp squib.
Unassuming character.
Floppy hair.
Which basically, as soon as he walks into scene, you know where we're going with this.
100%. Because it's always it's always the one that you don't expect to be the one. Is going to be the more interesting character.
Yeah.
As the film continues.
Yeah.
We can't give too much away about Bob, obviously.
No.
But his character develops nicely, and there is a fantastic. I think there's quite an interesting sort of arch enemy sort of fight near the end. Which approaches it from a different angle. I thought they woke it slightly, personally, the ending.
So my only issue is that they stole the plot of the second half of the film from Spider-Man Through the Spider-Verse. It's the plot is almost identical. The villain, although he initially looks different, ends up having pretty much the same kind of reasons for doing what he wants to do. Before we kind of get really deep into the film, I think this is out of any. So like when you have the finger click in what's the
End Days? Yeah, Endgame. Yeah.
The what you could perceive as the big death scene in this film, I think it's the most horrific one I've ever seen in a Marvel film.
Really? So I was initially. That was a low point for me in that movie.
Okay, so for me, the way that humans die in this film is the most. I think it was the most graphic, disturbing death I've ever seen.
I thought the opposite. Isn't that weird? I was going, you should have tried harder.
No, I just thought it was so powerful.
Okay, but it worked then. Obviously.
Yeah, because what I loved about it was it was so different from Marvel, and I was.
Yeah, again, I'm going back to that DC reference. I think they definitely robbed lots of things from DC and made
There's-
it darker and made it more intense.
So I don't know whether this was made at the same time as Spider-Man Through the Spider-Verse because it takes so long to make the animated films. But if I hadn't seen that, I would have thought this was an absolute masterpiece of plot making. But it did feel a bit plagiarised for me. I loved all of the characters in this film, and I just thought the balance of fighting and humour.
It was a lot more human, wasn't it?
There is CGI in it, and you can see the CGI in it, but it's a lot less. There's a lot less flying around.
Yeah.
There's
You could feel the objects, couldn't you? You felt that you were being drawn into a real world rather than looking at a screen and a character in front of the screen.
100%. No, I just liked an awful lot about this film, and and it's long. It's 2 hours and something.
Yeah, it is. But you don't feel it. It feels like it's a journey. It feels like a really good sort of road movie almost in that respect.
Okay, so we know what happens at the end of Marvel films. Yeah.
Yes.
You watch a film. You watch the credits.
You watch 10 minutes. You wait 10 minutes, and then they give you a bit of thing at the
I've
end.
never been in the cinema before where the film ended and there was not a single person even moved.
No.
Like literally, everyone just stayed.
Do you know what? I agree with you completely. We sat there and we looked at each other. And we're all conditioned. We're like sheep, and we're just waiting for that end.
It was such a shock because like normally you get some people, or 10 people kind of scuttling out,
and you look at it,
and you can't go out.
Exactly.
Literally not
I agree.
a person
We had the same.
moved. And I was just like, fucking hell, that is mad. And then you end up
well
watching
done, Marvel.
Yeah, because you end up watching all of the credits, and you're kind of thinking, John Job did the
exactly
plastering was one of the credits.
Yeah,
I saw.
well done, Cherry, for doing nailing work. Yeah, exactly.
Very good.
But I have to say, go back to the movie. And I have to say, the end credits were reassuringly good as well. So do watch the movie.
Yeah, and also the end clip before the credits and post-credit movie.
Yeah, worked.
That little scene is so cute.
Worked really well.
So cute.
I think these might work because traditionally, I think Marvel got so Marvel got it is Marvel got so up itself at one point. It would just leave you a lame bit at the end of the credits, and you go, well, I've waited 20 minutes, and this is what I'm getting. I'm getting one picture of a shield or something like that. Whereas this, it gives you some content.
Yeah,
and it made you excited about what was going on later on, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, this is a definite post-John Favreau movie.
Yeah. And did you notice that the I don't know whether you're familiar with the director of this movie or not?
Not at all.
So the director of the movie, have you ever seen a television series called Beef?
Have I?
It won loads of awards. I think it was on Prime or on Netflix. Nikki's doing some research for us.
It's beef in terms of an attritional combat.
That's right, but it's spelt as in beef, dead cow, so to speak. I got into this accidentally, so I was watching the first episode, and it's starring the voice from Incredible, the animated television, The Incredibles.
The Incredibles,
Is it Incredibles?
That's the
Invincible.
One.
So Invincible.
Like the fat dad and the.
No, Invincible is the one that's Seth Rogen is actually finance and produce this.
Then I'm
and
saying no.
It's an incredibly violent. It's like The Boys, but animated.
Oh, right, okay. No,
and it's like super violent.
Mark Hamill's in it.
Yeah, super violent. Well, the lead actor in Beef is a voice in Invincible, and Beef is directed by the same director as in Thunderbolts.
Okay.
And what was really good about Beef was it was really interesting character development. It really got sucked into the characters, and I think he brought some of this to this film because the characters I thought were a lot more interesting, a lot more three-dimensional than it has been in the past.
I totally agree.
Yeah, and you got to know each one of the characters quite well. I mean, even the baddie. There was human elements to her, and her assistant I thought was fantastic.
Oh, he's so good.
Very, and you kept expecting her to do something sort of Marvel-esque or superhero-esque all the way through the movie. And I won't give anything away, but you're just waiting for that to happen all the way through. I felt because I felt her character was waiting for something to happen. If that makes any sense?
Yeah, totally.
Like she was on the edge all the time.
Because she was in that lesbian road trip movie, wasn't she?
That's correct. Yes, she was indeed.
The one that I
Coen
went to
Brothers.
see.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's
I
called.
can't remember either. I was trying to remember.
Drive Away Dolls?
That's correct.
Yeah.
So all in all, I think every single actor came up and stepped up to the plate in this film. And, you know, for a Marvel movie, I thought it was actually a very, very good film.
Yeah, regardless of who produced it or whatever. I mean,
Yes.
it didn't feel like a plastic Marvel film. It felt like better than that.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a great thing.
That is a great thing. Well done. It definitely
Well
had...
done indeed, yeah, it was brilliant.
It definitely had elements of Suicide Squad. It definitely had elements. And somebody asked me, even before I went, what do you think it's going to be like? And I said, I think it's going to be a Marvel version of Suicide Squad. And I think it's the opposite. I think it's a DC version of Suicide Squad, whereas Suicide Squad is more of a Marvel version of itself.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I thought the characters were far less sensational than Suicide Squad, and I just kind of like that kind of human element to it. I just thought it worked really well.
Yeah, very good indeed. Yeah, so there you have it. That's. I mean, we don't want to give anything more away with the plot because I think the plot worked quite well.
Yeah, I know
it's quite simplistic.
You're sitting here thinking you probably haven't said enough words about it, but I think we have. I think we've done a good description.
One thing I can say.
Told you.
One thing I can say, what I really liked about this film was when the main baddie turned up at the end, when the transformation of the main baddie turned up. I thought the lighting and the makeup and the image of that main baddie worked really, really well.
It's brilliant. Oh,
yeah. It was quite imposing. I thought that was more terrifying than actually how he killed people.
So for me, you know, whenever I say there's a film which has got a plot idea, but they never really kind of fill out the flesh on it.
Yeah.
This is just brilliantly scripted.
It is.
And they've done it the other way around. It's just a really well written film, and they've just produced it brilliantly. I think they've done a really great job.
I'm looking forward to another one now.
Me too.
Yeah, absolutely. What are you going to give it?
I'm going to give it an 8.6.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was going to give it 8.5, so yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Nikki, do you have any facts for us?
So that's an 8.5 total. Does it make the board?
Oh.
It's matching with kinds of.
We roll up, we scroll up, don't we? We round up.
We round up.
We'll make it 8.6 for
There you go.
Yeah.
Kinds of kindness comes off our board.
Yeah.
Just with
Fuck me, Killers of the Flower Moon is going to go next.
It is. Yeah. And then Tar.
So just with you saying about the actor who was in Beef and Invincible.
Yes, right, yeah.
Stephen Yen, his name is.
That's right, yes.
You've also seen him in a film recently.
Have I?
Was he in Perfect Days?
No.
No, he wasn't. What was he in?
Mickey 17.
Of course he was!
He played Timo.
Of course he was. He was Timo. He was his friend, wasn't he? That's right, he went in and he
I don't know, I haven't seen Beef, so I don't know who he is, but...
Very good. Very, very good.
He played Timo.
You would enjoy it.
Let me know.
You would enjoy it. You'd end up throwing things at the television because it's quite infuriating. It's one of those movies. It's one of those television
That's
series.
just what I need.
You do need that. It winds you right up.
So this movie was released on the 2nd of May, which marked the 17th anniversary of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Wow, 17 years.
I know, it's crazy.
Feels longer, actually. Recently it has done.
Filming was announced as having been delayed on the 24th of May 2023
Yep.
due to the ongoing writers' strike, and then production began after the strike ended.
Nice.
I'm trying to find facts that aren't spoilers.
Yeah.
Before the movie was announced, actor Justin Kurylenko campaigned for the role of Sentry.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Just letting you know.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Louis Pullman was cast on his 31st birthday.
Ah, that's nice. Is that it?
I'm just, I want to say some other ones,
Yes.
but I feel like they're
Spoilers.
spoilers.
Well, no, don't give anything away. Not the first week it's been released, I don't think. Second week, I think we could just go
Relax
knee deep.
a little.
Yeah, exactly. Go knee deep and just give everything away. It's a dream. They're all dead.
Bobby Ewing.
Yeah. It's quite
They took
shower.
the wrong pill. And it is actually 2 hours and 6 minutes long.
I was going to say 2007.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Beautiful.
Good.
Nice.
Good. So 8.6 on the board.
Yes.
It's
Well
good
done,
to make the board.
Thunderbolts.
On the bottom of the board.
So round about this time in the podcast,
Yes,
James
we like
forgets
to-
what's next.
we like to reminisce
we do.
and we like to contemplate what we were doing at this time last year.
We're time
Should we
travelling.
do it together now?
Yeah, ready? It's Nikki's sequel. Nikki, what happened this time last year?
Quite worried that you haven't sung yet. This year was week 27.
Wow.
This time last year.
Yeah.
And there was a slight shake-up in the pundits HQ.
You were sat on the sofa.
I was.
Fucking
James
hell.
was in. Apparently, you were relegated, and I took offence
Oh yeah,
by
you
that.
did take offence to that, but you were driving.
Was I?
Yeah, you were producing and googling Ryan Reynolds.
Right. Okay. What was going on, Nikki?
So
Do you
James.
remember?
James was producing, and halfway through Peter's papas, James was saying, "Get on with it." And the date, according to James, was Thursday the something in May.
Yeah.
Um,
Surprised I got May right.
I went to see Back to Black. It was at number 4 in the top 10.
Oh yeah, I refused to watch it.
I gave it a 6.9, and it's currently available on Netflix, YouTube, Google, Amazon, and Sky.
Tried it, turned it off.
Peter went to see The Fall Guy,
Oh yeah,
which was at number 1 in the top 10, and you gave it a 7.9.
still is.
That's quite a high score for that.
No, it's none of your fucking business. That's my score, and I stick by it.
It's available on Now TV, YouTube, Google, Amazon,
You
and
gate crash my
Sky.
scores.
I said I like Ryan Gosling as an actor, but I wouldn't perv on him.
Right.
Peter said he would perv on him, and James said he had perved on him. And that's just
That sums it up really, doesn't it?
That's right about that. Yeah, absolutely.
I think we should have t-shirts made up. I would.
No, I wouldn't. You would.
Yeah, and I have.
Peter might. Oh
And
yeah,
I have.
Peter
James
has.
did.
I wouldn't. Peter would. James has.
Love it.
Yeah, if
That's
you want to
just
find out
it.
what the popcorn pundits is, that's the basic facts.
And that's our sequel. Right,
That's
anything
us.
else we need to do before we round this bad
Films
boy
for
up?
next week, I think.
What
Yeah.
are we going to see?
I'm very, very excited. I think I'm going to go and see a preview of Final Destination on Friday.
Are you?
Yes!
Okay,
I'm
amazing.
so excited.
Okay, cool.
So I get the impression after I've watched 5 Final Destination movies over the last 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, one each week, not 5 in 1 week, obviously. And one of the snippets I've heard in this, like in the atmosphere going through my head, so to speak, is apparently this film is the basis of this movie is anybody who survived, the descendants of anybody who survived the Final Destination movies, the last 5 movies, are all going to be killed off. Which I
Okay.
really like the idea of.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very excited about this. Now, it's quite amusing because you mentioned the monkey
Yeah.
in reference to Final Destination.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a beautiful sort of synchronicity between those sort of movies where you're given the opportunity to try to guess how that person is going to be slaughtered.
Yeah.
And it could go that way or it could go another way quite easily.
Well, that was
But
all. That
it's
was
always
the
gonna
thing
be
with Final
classic.
Destination,
Yes.
wasn't it? They kind of show you lots of implements of destruction.
That's right.
And
With some foreboding music
yeah.
and a little bit of a shadow going across and a little bit of air moving around.
That pool death in Monkey is one of the greatest bits of cinema you've ever seen.
Absolutely brilliant. However, can I just say something? You need to watch Until Dawn, because I have to say, last week I know I went over the top by explaining that there's a particular death scene
Oh yeah.
in Until Dawn. Okay, that is that level. It's that level. That's the level of Monkey. That scene. If the whole film was like that, it would be the same level as Monkey. That
Oh,
movie also.
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So you need to watch that death scene.
Okay.
Just watch the death scene.
Awesome.
So yes,
That
so
was
this Friday is going to be Final Destination. Next Friday, super excited. Final Reckoning, Tom Cruise.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
See, this is a disparity in our excitement.
is it?
Yeah.
We're not equal. We're not playing with even keels.
No, I
Really?
don't think I've got past number 2.
Really?
Yeah.
We're watching one a week at the moment.
Did I just backtrack like 10 seconds in time? These as well?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you have like certain days of the week you watch certain? Oh, he does do that, doesn't
He does, yeah. Did you really just ask
What
that
kind
question,
of-
Peter? Come on.
Yeah.
It's been 80
It's been
weeks.
80 weeks and I still don't know that he assigns days to movies. Fucking hell.
And I'm very, very particular about it.
Yeah, you are.
Yes. And
Yeah.
food has to be done properly for it.
Yeah,
Everything has to be prepared.
that's it.
Nobody's allowed to talk.
And apparently 7.9 is too much for this Fall Guy.
It is.
It
It is. It is. What was it, IBD?
I don't know.
Who gives a shit? It's my opinion.
Who cares?
80 weeks you've been telling me that.
There you go. So that's your Popcorn Pundits, week 80.
Do you want to ask where people can comment, reply to us and message us.
Peter, where can people comment and reply and message us?
Oh, okay. You can leave a comment underneath our YouTube video. Or you can chat to us on our Facebook page.
Yep.
Or you can DM us on our Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
You can WhatsApp us. You can. If you're streaming our podcast from whichever platform you stream our podcast from, there'll be a message us button. You can message us on that. But tell us who you are.
Nice.
Because it doesn't tell us who you are.
It does not.
Leave us a voice note. We've not had a voice note from Lawrence for ages.
Haven't. Yes.
Leo's never bothered.
He doesn't care.
I mean, I've invited him
Doesn't
to...
love us anymore.
I take him out for dinner. We do all sorts. He doesn't even bother.
Maybe that's why he's mine.
Pathetic.
The full guy has 6.8 on
There you
IMDb.
go.
And James, how can people listen to us?
People can listen to us on any of the streaming platforms that they wish, through Spotify, through Apple, through any sort of podcast sort of scenario. They can just go, hey, I want to listen to a podcast. I fancy listening to the Popcorn Pundits. Do it now. Week 80 in the bag.
80. Oh.
Peter, don't leave me hanging.
Yeah, but you went him first. Rude.
Saving the best till last, that's why.
Making bacon.